Life is a time pass, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, पता नहीं, जो थारी राय सो हमारी राय, nothing to do, nowhere to go, देखो सुनो मत बोलो, wherever, whenever, whatever you are, be 100% करे नाटक, किसी को आओ मत कहो, किसी को जाओ मत कहो, ना कुछ पाना ना कुछ खोना, who asked you live at zero complete level, मौज में रहो, be happy.
Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave. There was a child and he asked me, Swamiji, yes, you don't know Guru Stotra completely? You know only one shlok? I said, yes, I know only one shlok. No, but we are told we have to chant the whole Guru Stotra. So, when we chant Stotra, if we are taking food and when the stomach is full, we automatically stop. We are not required to be told stop. Stomach is full. When you think of Guru and as a result, his arrival deletes us, we disappear. He takes over. Then how can he chant for himself? Therefore, Sarva Saratamam Punaha Pravakshami. Dattatreya Bhagwan tells Parshuramji, you have asked me, kindly summarize all that you have been telling us for so many chapters, for so many years. Kindly summarize. So, we are going to summarize what we have been listening for last 10 years. You have to be fully 100% available. So, यचिति परमेशानी पूर्णा हंता मयि परा सा स्वातंत्र विधा माया शक्ति महात्म्यतः. So, the pure conscious existence is Chiti Shakti. Samvit. Brahman in Vedanta, Paramatma in Yoga, and Bhagavan in devotion. Names are three, but what is indicated is the same. So, this Paramatma, Brahman, etc. is associated inherently with its own potentiality, and that potentiality is called as freedom from cause and effect. This is the biggest obstacle for every intellectual. Therefore, intellectuals are intelligently miserable. This is what, because of that I am miserable. Anybody who has this thing, he will be miserable. So when you justify yourself being miserable, you have no intentions of living it. Continue. And justification is done through cause and effect. Therefore, Swatantra Shakti, Ichha Shakti, freedom. So that freedom is the Maya Shakti. Avyakta Namni Paramesha Shakti, Bhagavan Shankaracharya writes in Vivek Chudamani, these Paramatma's infinite power, what is called as Shakti in the Shakta and the Maya in Vedanta and Radha in the Vaishnava Sampradaya, one and the same. Why Radhaji did not get married to Bhagavan Sri Krishna? All gods have got the weapons with them. Bhagwan Ram with Sita ji also along. But then there is a bow and arrow. But when Bhagwan Krishna is there with Radhaji, there is no bow and arrow. There is nothing in his hands. What is the reason? Because Bhagwan Ram has to protect himself. And Bhagwan Krishna, he doesn't have to. Because Radhaji is not his wife. Oh. And then, therefore, he plays music. See? Like the fire and its burning power. Now, this burning power is not a burden for fire. It is for you and me. And therefore, the fire has freedom. See, Ichha Shakti, freedom from cause and effect. And the fire has freedom either to manifest the burning power or unmanifest. Why? Marji hamari? See how important it is. When I am in my house and I sit for taking lunch with the bathing suit, why like this thing? Marji hamari? Is my house. I'll do anything. Then after that I want to go and sleep. So I put on the wedding suit and go to sleep. Why you are doing? I say, my marji, my own house. This whole world is his creation. You have no business to ask questions. So this is Paramatma's Maya Shakti, Swatantra Abhidha, called the Swatantra Shakti or Ichha Shakti. Now what happens? Jagat Bhasayen Nunam Durghateka Vidhayini Pratibimbavat Adarshe Tat Prakaram Shrunu Kramat. Now what this Maya Shakti does? Jagat Abhasa, it creates an appearance of this world. So what is the world? Here word used is Jagat. Jagat means that which is constantly changing is called as Jagat. Gacchati iti Jagat. That which keeps on changing. So this Maya Shakti, out of her own will, freedom, creates this Jagat, meaning what? The principle of change. So what is the world? World is the changeless support is supporting all the changes. This is Jagat. Now look within. Waking, dream, deep sleep, samadhi has come and gone. We are the same. Because we don't change. And when our attention is withdrawn from means what? When our experiences which are constantly changing, when they do not influence us, we are with the substratum. Like whether the uh, statue is that of Rama or Ravana, it makes no difference to gold. Therefore, Jagat Bhasayate Nunam Durghataika Vidhayini. But how come this changeless reality is creating the changes? In one place when I was studying, very rare and very wonderful thought. Tasmad Atmanaha Akasha Sambhutaha Akashad Vayuhu. From Paramatma, Akasha, the space is created. Now, what is Akasha or space? It has got two meanings. One is Avakashat Akashaha, that which has ability of emptiness. If there is no emptiness, nothing can be created. So, Avakashat Akasha. And Prakashat Akashaha. So, it is simultaneously both the created and the creator. Both. Experienced and experiencer. So, how it happens? Paramatma is Brahman, infinite, without changes, like space. So, space is a neighbor of Bhagavan. So, when you take space as the object of experience, now see what is happening. If your house is next to a music studio, without doing anything, you will be able to experience the music. If your house is next to a railway track, without anything, you will be able to listen the noise. Space is the neighbor of Paramatma. And what is space? That which supports everything but doesn't get influenced by anything. So when we are going through our life, good and bad experiences, but the good or bad experiencer is not born. You are one with the space. And space being the neighbor of Paramatma, that one without a second, infinite bliss, your experience will be the same. Because you are neighbor. Now this space, see the ability to contemplate. Imagine, space starts moving. Space doesn't move. If the space starts moving, moving space is called as air. So space you cannot touch. Air you can feel, you can touch. See? So space doesn't become an experience object, but the air becomes the object of experience. Okay? And as long as the air is coming in and out of the body, the life continues. Maharaj, when you thus recognize this principle, then Jagat bhasayet nunam durghateka vidhayini. Now this Maya Shakti, by its own way, freedom, create the world. So what is the world created? Atmanaha akasha sambhutaha. First of all, there is nothing. Then in that nothing, movement happens. Air comes. When there is a movement, there is heat. Then when there is a heat, then after that there is perspiration. And when the perspired perspiration dries away, it becomes solid. So the whole world is created. See? So Jagat Bhasayate Nunam Durghateka Vidhayani, and creates the most impossible thing. What is the most impossible? For no reason we are alive. See? How many holes we have got in our body? And yet it is not leaking out. See? Your scooter or a car tire, if there is a hole, the air goes out with one hole. We have got so many holes. How come the air is not going out? Durghatayake vidhayani. So, how it creates the world? Pratibimbavat adarshe tat prakaram shrunu kramat. It creates the world like the mirror creates the world of reflections. Here there is a totally deep approach in this particular text. Normally when people talk about Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam pashyannatmani mayaya bahirivodbhutam yatha nidraya यस साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोध समये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये. So what they normally say, see, in the mirror it is a lateral inversion. If you are writing with the right hand, in the mirror it appears you are writing with the left hand. That is not all. Much more. That much more is coming over here. So, Pratibimbavad Adarshe, like the reflections are created in the mirror, exactly the same way this world is created. Now the question comes, which mirror? There is nothing other than the truth. Ekameva Dvitiya. How it creates. Now to understand this, we'll take some example. It's not difficult. Only thing, we have to be little contemplative. See, water has its potentiality, Swatantra Shakti, and because of that, water can move. Stones and bricks, they don't move. They don't have that Shakti. Water has. See? Then, in the water, other than water, there is nothing. So, on what that ability to move, potentiality in the water, on what it will act if there is nothing? It will act on itself. And therefore, When the potentiality of the water to move acts on the water itself, then oceans and waves are created. And when it is created, what is the creation? Name and form. And the beauty is name and form supported by the waters, but both of them do not influence the water. And therefore, in the ocean, the water doesn't get drowned. And when the waves are born, water is not born. When the waves grow, water doesn't grow. When the waves die, water doesn't die. So what is happening? From the water's point of view, nothing is happening. And if we are other than the water, then something is happening. In the same manner, from Paramatma's point of view, nothing is happening. When we separate ourselves from the divine, everything is happening. See Maharaj. So Pratibimbavat Adarshe, like in the mirror, the whole world is created. So what is the creation in the mirror? There is a creation without creation. How the things appear in the mirror? Suppose we stand in front of the mirror, our reflection comes. Have we entered the mirror? No, we are not entered. But are we not seeing ourselves inside the mirror? Yes, we are seeing. Then what it is? It is entry without entrance. Wherever there are contradictions, the truth is hidden behind contradictions. Joy contradicted in sorrows. Gain contradicted in loss. Victory contradicted in defeat. But both these complementary opposites are supported by some who is never contradicting and who is never contradicted by anything. So joy I experience, misery I experience. Therefore, who am I? I am supporting both. And if I am supporting both, and if I do not become joyful or miserable, I am divine. If I become joyful and miserable, I am a jiva. See, friends, it's so simple. Pratibimbavat adarshe tat prakaram shrunukramat. Now, how it happens? The teacher tells step by step. या सा पराचितिः पूर्णा पूर्णाहं भाव बृंहिता स्वातंत्र वशतः स्वात्मरूपं द्विधा अभवत् अभासयत्. या सा पराचितिः, this infinite conscious blissful existence, पूर्णा पूर्ण aham bhava brahmita, it is purna aham, the infinite I. Therefore, in English, when we are writing, normally any word which begins, it should be written with a capital, proper nouns. But when we write I, which is not a proper noun, and yet it is written capital, the English people will not know this, why it is so. But the truth is this. Because this I, which is written capital, is Purnahanta, is the infinite I. It is not the I of the iPhone. See? iPhone is basically a prestige symbol, nothing else. See? Therefore, Yasa Parachiti Purna. She is infinite. That means other than I, there is none. See? This I is without you. In any language, there are three persons. In Sanskrit, it is called as, let us say in English, that is easier to understand. I is first person singular. Then thou is second person singular. He, she, it. Third person singular. Now what is the plural? The plural of thou is you. So thou is second person singular and you also second person plural. The person continues to be second. He, she, it, third person singular. They continues to be third person. So they also third person plural. But when it comes to I, what is the plural of I? There is no plural. There is what? We. But this we is not exclusive. It is all inclusive. So this I is Purnahanta. Therefore includes everything and rejects nothing. See Maharaj, when we are able to include everything and being, we have attained oneness with the infinite. Dvitiyatvai bhayam bhavati. Wherever there is a sense of otherness, following things happen. Number one, fear. Two, desire. Third, anger. And also greed. So when we are leading a life of fear, I don't know what will happen. Let me have few houses everywhere. So wherever I go, I can have my own house. There are many people. There are houses everywhere. And watchmen are enjoying. See, in our Kandala, Lonala, in India, Maharashtra, there are many rich people. They have got beautiful bungalows made over there. Swamiji, anytime you want to go and stay there, you can take. We'll give you the key. Why don't you stay there? Actually, I don't have time to go. So those who have money, they don't have time. Those who have time, they have no money. Can there be more fun than this in this world? See? Therefore, the otherwise people construct the houses, the wise people stay in. See, friends. So, these aham, purnahanta, the infinite I, all inclusive, not exclusive. Now, the teacher says, this purnahanta aham bhava bruhita swatantra vashataha. Now, this I, the infinite I, has a freedom. Swatantra vashataha swatma rupam dvedha avabhasayat. Now, this one gets divided into two. Why? Who are you to ask? Swatantra? See, such a simple thing. Our day-to-day experiences tell us. We have never asked this question, why the fire is hot. Except thereafter we start thinking, if the fire is hot, how to deal with the fire? And deal in such a manner that the same burning ability of the fire is encashed to our benefit. So don't ask question why. Many times the people ask the same thing. Swamiji, whenever I sit for meditation, too many dirty thoughts come in mind. Why did they come in? Why? Don't ask question. Work on it. How to sort it out. See? It is so important to understand any question you ask, it takes you away from yourself. Any question. We don't have question or doubt. Excuse me, am I there? No. Not only you are there, but you are a fool of the highest order. Thank you so much. Therefore, Swatantra Vashataha, of its own freedom, Swatma Rupam Dvedha Avavasayat. You must have seen the um, seeds such as the gram, chana. It's dry, very hard. You put it in the soil, water it. Slowly, it will start swelling, and then a sprout will come, and these two parts, cotyledons, they are separated clearly, and out of that, one goes in the soil to become the roots, other goes up to become the plant. Who teaches them? It happens. Nobody. It's so simple. Only thing we have to learn from everyday experiences. Once I was in England in the countryside. So my friend took me to various farms, cattle farm, beef cattle farm, milk cattle farm, then a sheep farm, and then pig farm. So when we are going in through the pig farm, so my friend told me, "Swami, come quickly, quickly." What? You just watch. So one Mrs. Swine, she was delivering one after another, and I was watching what is happening now. And after they came out, as if they knew the GPS, straight away went and started. I said, "Come on, who taught them? No logic, no reason. It happens. Nobody is taught you have to eat with mouth. It happens. Swatantra Shakti. Therefore, Swatantra Vashataha, Swatma Rupan Dvedha Avavasayat. So this one appears in two, in the form of two. Then, Tatra Ekamshe Api Aham Bhavaha Apurna Abhasito Yada Tada Dvitiya Bhagaha Tad Aham Bhava Vinirgataha. So, when this one Purna Aham is divided into two, therefore, it has become apurna, incomplete, not complete. So one part is apurna aham, and the other part is that where the aham bhava is not. So aham idam, I and not I. See? So when this I is associated with finite, it is apurna aham. When I is associated with everything, it is Purna. I am this body, here also I, but I am the one supporting all the bodies, is the Purna Aham. Bhagwan Raman Maharshi. Ahami Nasha Bhaji, Aham Taya, Spurati Vrut Swayam, Parama Purna Sat. When the small Aham Nasha Bhaji, Bhaji banao. When this small little aham disappears, Paramapurna Sat, the infinite aham manifests. I get very funny kind of thoughts. This is the phone, and it is covered by the cap. You understand this? No difficulty. Now, the space is covered by the forms. Try to understand. Space is covered by the forms. आ गया मजा? How the space can be covered by forms? Because even if there are no forms, we don't see the space. So that space which we don't experience, that space we don't see, how that space which is not seen is covered by the form which is seen? How can the seen, SWN, how can the seen cover the unseen? Space is unseen. On the contrary, whether there is space or not is known only by the forms. Is there any space in your suitcase? I want to keep my washing machine. No, there is no space. Why there is no space? You can't see? Then how do you say that there is no space? Because I have seen the space was covered by the contents. And therefore, when we are in deep sleep, that time all the contents, what are the contents? Names and the forms. World is nothing but name and form. When the name and the form disappear, you are back to your own divine nature. Therefore, in sleep, we are neither man, woman, nor Gadbadananda or Hadbadananda. See? But we are there. Vedesha sarvai ahameva vidya. This is the Purna Hanta. Therefore, when I say I am body, and if the meaning of that statement I am body refers to only this body, then it is apurna aham. It is the finite, it is the jiva. But when I say I am body and then I includes everything, then I am the Paramatma. Is it not true with reference to our own body? Therefore, tada dvitiya bhaga aham tad aham bhava vinirgataha. So, when this Purna Aham is divided into two, in one there is Apurna Aham and in other there is no Apurna Aham. So, Aham and Idam, this division happens. Like, those of you must have studied. I keep on reading funny things and I get a lot of information. See, in embryology, when they talk about the cell division, so there is the cell, and then they call something, and then there are some rays that they show in the picture, and it is called as that now the spindle is formed, and the cell and the nucleus of the cell slowly divides into two. See? Binary fission, it divides into two. Again, those cells grow, again they divide into two. And this is how from one zygote, one seed or the fetus slowly starts growing. Nobody asked this question. Why these cells become the digestive system? Why these cells become the nervous system? Why these cells become the bone system? It happens. Therefore, our essential divine nature is as if divided into two. One is the knower and the second is the known. Okay. Now, bahyam avyaktam abhavat tad drushtva bhrugudvaha apurna aham bhavayutaha esha proktaha sadashivaha. So, The objective, the inert aspect is called as the world, avyaktam, unmanifest world. And apurna bhava yutaha prokta sadashivaha. And the one associated with the finite aham bhava is the Sadashiva. Now be very attentive. In Vedanta, what we say, Brahma with Maya is Ishvara. When the Maya becomes grossified, it is called as Mahat Tattva. So Brahma with the Mahat Tattva is called as the Hiranyagarbha or Sutratma. And then the same Brahman, when this Mahat Tattva becomes further grossified, it is called a Virata Purusha. The four of them. Brahman, Ishvara, Hiranyagarbha and Virat Purusha. Ishvara is not the creator. Creator is the Hiranyagarbha. Everything remains unmanifest in the total subtle body. Total subtle body is Hiranyagarbha. Ishvara doesn't create anything. See? But when Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshi arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra arudhani mayaya. There, which is that Ishvara? That Ishvara is this Ishvara. So, Ishvara of Vedanta is Sadashiva here in these expressions, and the Hiranyagarbha of Vedanta is the Ishvara here. So when they say Ishvara, he is talking about the Hiranyagarbha. This should be clear, otherwise you will get confused in words. So, Purna Aham Bhava Yutaha Esha Prokta Sadashivaha. So first, Paramatma, invoking his own potentiality but unmanifest, he is Sadashiva. See? Therefore, Sadashiva Samarambham, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Paramparam. Sadashiva is Paramatma with his infinite potentiality but unmanifest. Avyakta Namni Paramesha Shakti. Okay, then what happens? This is Aham Bhava Yuta. The sentient aspect of Paramatma is Sadashiva and Prakriti Maya is his Maya Shakti. So the same thing, fire and his burning power. Similarly, Paramatma and his Maya Shakti, when Maya Shakti remains unreferred, it is Ekameva Dvitiya Neha Nanaste Kinchana. When Maya Shakti is referred but unmanifest, then it is the Ishvara in Vedanta and Sadashiva here. And when the Maya Shakti is ready to manifest, then that Maya Shakti is called as Mahat Tattva, and the wielder of the Mahat Tattva, Paramatma, himself is now called as the Hiranyagarbha, and here Ishvara. So in deep sleep, Anandamaya Kosha, we are Ishvara. All potentiality is there and all bliss, because there is no sense of otherness. Ekameva Dvitiya. And when the waking comes, then it is the unmanifest impressions on somebody that starts coming out, and then somebody is born. Therefore, Apurnaham Bhava Yutaha Esha Proktaha Sadashiva. Continuing further, Tam Satam Avyakta Bhagantu Pashyan Bhinnam Api Swataha Ahametat Iti Abheda Anusandhi Parasada. Now, this Tam Avyakta Bhagantu Pashyan Bhinnam Api Swataha. Now, it is the same thing which is divided into two, therefore, essentially they are one. See? If you go to Badrinath, on the way, when our Alaknandaji is flowing at Srinagar, Gadwal. There you see Alaknandaji gets divided into two. And in the center there is a huge land. And again after some time that Alaknandaji joins together. So it has not become two. It is only one. Exactly the same way. This aham idam appears to have become two. The idam has no problem. This aham has problem. Because he is the seer, the knower. And therefore, tad avyakta bhagantu pashyan bhinnam api swataha. Knowing very well that it is I alone who has become two. And yet, aham iti etat anusandhi parasada. And then he starts thinking that I am only this much and not the other one. And this is how the infinite is reduced to the finite. Again and again, recognize this principle. When we talk about eyes illuminate all colors and forms. But eyes are not influenced by the colors and forms. What knowledge is happening to you? You are trying to understand with your own eyes, is it not? Am I referring to your own eyes? Eyes are a common noun. When we talk about ego, getting identified with the body, is not only I get identified with the body, but getting identified with the body is a general principle. When the general principle is not understood, meaning what? When samashti is forgotten and vyashti individuality is taken as real, the samsara begins. And samashti is what? At the level of the life. Vyashti is at the level of the mind. See? Therefore, when the students study in medical college, the anatomy, they don't study on the living people, dead bodies. And thereafter they become a surgeon and go for the operation. And then, hey, where is that Gray's anatomy? Let me check. Where is the kidney? Yaad nahi aa raha. Oh. So they don't have to kill that fellow and then see what is the kidney. No. Because the anatomy is a general thing. Exactly the same way. All our faculties, every experience is common because we are one. This is what is the meaning. So tad avyakta bhagantu pashyan bhinnamapi swataha ahametad iti abheda anusandhi parasada. And now be attentive. This Bluetooth mic is other than me. Therefore, I am not the Bluetooth mic. This phone, I know. I am the knower and I am the possessor of this phone. Therefore, the phone is mine, but I am not the phone. Very good. This hand, I know this is the hand, but I am the hand. Where from this my has become I? We know our body in two ways. I am body and the body is mine. If we limit only this level, I am body, that will include every body. But when I say I am body and the body is mine, then only this body is mine, not others. Samsara begins. Therefore, although we are seeing our body to be separate from us, yet we are identified with the body and start behaving as if I am the body. This is how the Purnahanta is reduced to the Apurnahanta. Yesterday we have seen in Bhagavad Gita, Mamai Vansho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhutas Sanatana Manashashtani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. So the infinite cannot have the fractions. Fractions appear on account of the conditioning. Space is infinite. Because of the walls, it becomes 2 BHK, 3 BHK. And when those buildings are pulled down, will the space go out somewhere? No. So, space is one, the air is one, the fire is one, the water is one, earth is one, mind is one. When in deep sleep, the mind is no more identified with the shape of the body, but the mind is there. And therefore, in the deep sleep, all the functions continue. Who is continuing those functions? This mind, knowledge. And then what is waking? Waking is the same total mind is now limited by the body. The total space is limited by the walls. And out of the infinite space, a small 2 BHK is born. And this is my house, that is your house. Samsara begins. And whenever you carry any burden, what is our attempt to unburden, is it not? What is the sleep? Mind is tired of carrying the burden of body identification. And therefore, the mind drops the burden of body identification. And that is why those people who sleep in satsang, they have understood everything. Others are struggling, they have realized. Ultimately, the same. Therefore, those who sleep in lecture, satsanga, I really like them. Because they are the only one they say after the lecture, Swami, you are awesome. Friends. स एव भूयः स्वातन्त्र्याद् विविधं जगत् अव्यक्तमात्मनो देहम एतद् एव अहम आस्थितः. See, thereafter, because of its own, स एव भूयः स्वातन्त्र्याद्. Now this reality, the Purna Aham, has a freedom. Swatantriyat gets identified with a particular body. No question why it happens. Friends, therefore, we never ask this question, but why the way, water is flowing below? It is flowing below. Is it? Don't waste time in that. But why the water doesn't go up? No, it will go when you go up. You go up. Therefore, again by its own freedom, this the Apurna Aham with reference to us and Apurna Aham with reference to totality. So there are two Ahams. One is the Samashti, Hiranyagarbha, and second is the Veshti, the Jiva. Now they also now desire to create the world. Now tell me, what is that which brings you out of the sleep? I asked our Yogendra Maharaj, I said, when did you sleep last night? Only 11:30, 12 o'clock. Then how did you get up so early in the morning? Pressure? Again, I had to do this, I had to do that. That will again bring you out. So here also, the same thing, that this now, he has some plan, I want to do this, I want to do that, and this is how he desires to create the world. And then to desire, fulfill that desire, the first step happens is aham idam, this body I am, avyaktam atmanaha, deham etad eva aham astitaha. Then this avyakta paramatma tattva is now getting identified with the body, and then the first ahanta happens. See, this is the experiment I do every day. You should do it. Just observe. When you go to sleep, how you go to sleep. Not your positions. What exactly happens? We slowly withdraw from everything. We discard the desha, kala, vastu, position, achievements, failures, everything slowly, slowly we discard. Then we come back to our house. Then we discard the house. We come to our room, discard the room. We are below the quilt, discard the quilt, and ultimately only one thought: I want to sleep. I want to sleep. Till such time, want is there, it is the apurna aham, in the finite aham. And when this want, I want to sleep, even this want is dropped, this apurna aham is released from the limitations and merges in the total. And therefore, in deep sleep, the ananda that we have is the Purnananda, Brahmananda. Only problem is we do not recognize it as the Brahmananda. Friends, therefore, what we have to learn from this thing, how we get up. So when we get up, the first thing is where I am. Because you are staying in the same place, this happens to you by default. But for me, it is a spiritual practice. Every time I am in a different place. Therefore, I keep the lights on. You don't know where I have to go. And the second thing, so space is born, then time is born. What is the time? Oh, it is still 20 minutes more. I can sleep for half an hour. Then again, after, only 2 minutes, again you sleep. So, desha, kala. And then, who am I? I have to go here, I have to do this thing, and the world begins. This is continuously happening every day in our life, and yet we have never learned. You can learn from every single experience. Yatra yatra manoyati tatra tatra samadhaya. Suppose you have to catch early morning flight. Now here, suppose you come late for satsang, doesn't matter. But if you have to catch the early morning flight, then you decide, okay, let me go to sleep quickly, and then morning I'll get up at 2 o'clock and finish bath and all that, become fresh, change, and then go to the airport. Therefore, I will sleep at about 7 o'clock. So you finish your food and go to the bed at 7 o'clock. After every 23 seconds, why? I had to catch the flight. One desire that I had to catch the flight has destroyed your sleep, is it not? We have got Himalayan desires. Whole life is destroyed. See, Maharaj. And when we don't entertain any desire as in deep sleep, are we not happy? And fulfillment of the desire is also getting rid of the desire. See? Therefore, avyaktam atmana deham etat aham eva astitaha. Thereafter what happens? The absolute starts making this mistake that I am this body. Then, iti evam anusandhana paraha ishvaraha avabhau avyaktam avimanena avishta ishvara evatu. In this manner, the Ishvara means what here? Hiranyagarbha. The Hiranyagarbha is thus reduced from the infinite to the finite, from the totality to individuality, from the samashti to vyashti. In democracy, all of us have got one vote per head. All those votes are collected in one person. He becomes the prime minister because of our vote. He became Prime Minister. Therefore, I sanction $25 trillion for construction of the mm, horse stable. Nobody listens to me. But the same thing is done by the Prime Minister. Immediately everything happens. Prime Minister is also basically a citizen. But now what happened? All the votes and the powers of all the votes is put together in one. And therefore, he is more powerful. See? So what we have to do? Surrender yourself to the divine will. This is what Mahatmas are. They don't have anything to do, but everything is God done through them, because they are no more living as individuals, but they are the counters through which the divine expresses. We are the one who encounter with everybody. See, Maharaj. So, iti evam anusandhana para ishvara avabhau avyaktam abhimanena avishta ishvara evatu. Therefore, the Hiranyagarbha alone has now come down to the Jiva. Man alone has come down to the sun. The man alone has come down as a husband. The man alone has come down as a father. So man is the Hiranyagarbha, and these fellows, the son, the husband, and the father, they are the Jiva, the individual. So when the man has become so many, is he divided into so many? No. This is the meaning. This is illusion. Only appearance. The more you become aware of this thing, you will clearly understand real spiritual practice is not becoming extraordinary. Remain ordinary. See? We add so many extra to us. I am man, woman, young, old. I am rich, poor, Indian, non-Indian. I am educated, I am overeducated. ज़्यादा ही पढ़े लिखे. And suffer. And how we do that? We constantly refer to our past. This point I have mentioned to you 100 times. Don't talk about your past. Don't ask anybody about their past. But just now, Swamiji, you are telling, I told you 100 times. Is it not the past? I get these questions hearing from you. How to achieve this? Forget. You cannot undo the past. That past from which you have learned does not create a personality. That past from which we have not learned, but we have either suffered or enjoyed, creates a personality. See? Like in childhood, we have touched the fire for whatever reason, we got burned. So we have learned fire burns. Therefore, there is no personality. Do you know? I know the fire burns. No, we don't know. We even don't talk about it because we have learned. Therefore, real spiritual practice is learn. Now, from this statement, Swamiji, what you have learned, I told you 100 times. I also do the same mistake. Therefore, I am telling myself only. Repeat it again and again. So, iti evam anusandhana para ishvara abhavau avyakta abhimanena avishta ishvara evatu. Therefore, the total space is becoming limited because of some upadhi. So the space is one, north, east, west, south. Have that space become four? Then you have to do the puja. You should face the east. You should not face the west. Get lost. There's no way out. Therefore, um, tridha tridha sam tridha sam abhavad द्रुहरि द्रुहिरण रूपतः दृश्य दृश्य महाराशि समुदाय अवभासकः. Now, thereafter, what happens? See, this it is divided into the drishya varga, the objects. So, this ahanta, apurna ahanta, is now divided into two. One is the sentient, and second is the inert. So, I am this body. This is apurna ahanta with reference to me, I the sentient. This phone is mine. This is also the apurna ahanta with reference to the jada vastu. The phone doesn't say that I belong to Swamiji. I only say. Therefore, where should be our attention? Not on the world. World is no problem. Problem begins from us. Therefore, this one Paramatma, he is now divided. How is divided? We are at a samashti level. Okay, I am bringing samashti veshti together. So, at the samashti level, what is happening? This one Paramatma who is reduced to Hiranyagarbha or here Ishvara, then Hiranyagarbha further divides into three faculties. The Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra. Brahma is the creator. What a life without a wife. I should get married. Brahma is coming up. I should have sufficient bank balance, so that I can maintain. Vishnu Bhagwan. रुद्र क्यों फर्क पड़ता है यार क्यों मरे परेशान हो रहे नो 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 आई वांट so these three thoughts they start erupting. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that at a totality level. So every one of us is Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, the creator, and therefore we told you the a real seeker is born when we start working on our mind. And that seeker will never die. He will be eternally the same. And therefore, this Brahmanda is created by Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, etc. And there are not one, there are millions of them. See? The Milky Way, how many Brahmandas are there? Be attentive. So many of us have got so many dreams and so many worlds created. One child asked me this question, Swamiji, do you get dreams? I said, yes, I get. I said, you tell me what dream you get. I get only one dream. I cannot pass in the examination. Only one dream I get. I said, I also get only one dream. What? I am giving lecture and audience is sleeping. There is no other dream. See? So, each dream is a Brahmanda at the individual level. See, in Yoga Vasishta, if you remember, we have seen, it is, the whole cinema is, like what? The simplest way to understand. Keep two mirrors in front of each other and see how many reflections are there in the mirror. Infinite. This mirror is reflected in that. That is reflected into this thing. Blah, blah, blah. Goes on and on and on and on. And in this manner, out of one, so many are created. So many Brahmanda and all these things are created. In this manner, this world or the creation is like the reflection in the mirror. Therefore, my dear Parshuramji Maharaj, it only appears but doesn't exist. This is the best example which we can work every moment. Stand before the mirror and start working on it. When we see the reflection in the mirror, our interaction is different. When the bird sees its own reflection in the mirror, the interaction is different. The reason is the birds take the reflection in the mirror as real, and we do not take them as real. Therefore, we enjoy, birds suffer. So those who are suffering in this world, they are birds. Those who are enjoying their life, they are human beings. In the mirror, everything appears. It doesn't exist. Once I sent one small clip, 1 minute. I was in, I think, Birmingham, my friend's house. I was walking in his garden. There was a small uh, plate kind of thing, some water in that for the birds, clean water. It was about 12 o'clock afternoon. So when I was moving around with my camera, I saw the sun reflected in that. So I focused my camera on that. So the waters and the reflection. Then I just disturbed the water by either finger or putting something little bit. So the water started creating ripples. Because of these ripples, the reflection was also moving. And my meditation started. The sun is not influenced by the movement of the water. Reflection is also not influenced by the movement of the water, because reflection appears, doesn't exist. Water is also not influenced by the ripples on the water, because that is its own nature. So nothing happened. So neither the sun is influenced, nor the reflection, nor the reflecting media, the water. But seen everything. न निरोधो न च उत्पत्ति न बद्धो न च साधकः न मुक्तः न मुमुक्षुर्वै इत्येषा परमार्थता. Therefore, my dear Parshuramji, this whole world samsara only appears, doesn't exist. For whom? For Paramatma. For you and me, get married and show how I have to become happy in life. When you know marriage makes you miserable, why do you get married? Delayed wisdom. Delayed wisdom is called as philosophy. And active philosophy is called as wisdom. So, continuing further, the teacher goes into evam eva parasamvit purna hanta shramashraya सदाशिवादि स्तंभांताम अपूर्णा हंता श्रयापि वै वस्तुतः वै सा एव परमा चितिरेव हि भासिनी. So essentially, the infinite reality alone, because of the conditioning, is appearing to have become many, like the knower known knowledge. The experiencer experienced and the experience. He who is able to focus his attention on the substratum, he alone is living as a body but not suffering as a body. Meaning what? Getting married and yet he is happy. Normally, what we do, we take these conditioned expressions as the real. Then what is to be done? Wherever you are, whenever you are, whatever you are, be 100%. Can there be simpler spiritual practice? But we want complicated things, Learn this simple thing. Whatever you are doing doesn't matter. Be 100%, that's all. Whether you are cooking or taking food. One example I'll give and conclude. Once I was taking food and I asked that Amma, I said, Amma, you are not giving green chilies. I told you I like green chilies. And give some salt also, a little less here. So she got it. And she said, Swamiji, you have asked. My husband never asks anything. Whether there is salt less or more and all. He just eats like that. I said, look here, I am a human being. I enjoy food. I am not a buffalo. Give something. That is not spiritual life. Have you eaten? I don't remember. Then you are mad. How do you like it? What? My head. Therefore, Sadashivadi Stambanta Apurna Hanta Shrayapi Vai Vastuta Sa Eva Paramachiti Eva Ibhasini. Therefore, we all have to recognize these individualities are essentially divine. They have become individuals only on account of reference to some finite point. Like the man is the divine, and the references are the father, the wife, and the son, and therefore these three personalities which are born as the son, husband, and the father, they have no existence. These non-existing entities are becoming miserable. What can you do? Our condition is like the dog looking into the mirror and want to do something to change this reflection, and therefore he does the Bhasrika. You also do Bhasrika. See, Maharaj, I am aware I have spoken more than 1 hour. You are also our today Sunday. स्वामी जी भूल गए क्या? No, dehaham bhava swarupam swataha ruparasadikam grahitum asamarthopi cha akshatadatmemeva cha. Now here, the infinite alone is expressing through the finite. And then, this is deha aham bhava rupastvam swataha ruparasadikam grahitum asamartha. See? Apanipado, I am without the legs and yet I go everywhere. I am without the eyes yet I see everything. I am without the ears yet I hear everything. These contradictions are now the next topic. What is that? We'll see it in tomorrow's satsang. Tomorrow there is Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.